More than 1,000 homeowners entered the foreclosure process last week in Florida's Miami-Dade and Broward counties. That has the phones at the nonprofit Neighborhood Housing Services of South Florida ringing off the hook with calls from struggling borrowers desperate to keep their homes. Arden Shank is the executive director. He says some government programs like Hope for Homeowners just don't work.
There are stipulations and requirements put into it that slow the process down, that keep the money from being spent, that make it too complicated, and finally then don't really help the homeowner.
Touted as a way to help 400,000 struggling borrowers, the Hope for Homeowners program has received fewer than 400 applications since it began in October. Lawmakers and the incoming Obama team are now retooling the program to make it more user-friendly.
We got to try everything. I mean, these are uncharted waters.
Congressman Mel Watt is a member of the House Financial Services Committee. The North Carolina Democrat suggests troubled borrowers who aren't behind on their payments get help, although he admits that has drawbacks.
You run the risk of benefiting some people who may never default on their mortgage, but there is an advantage to doing that that goes beyond whether they are in default or not.
The advantage, he says, comes from stabilizing home prices and at the same time boosting the broader economy.
Putting money in people's pockets has a stimulative effect, and those people are likely to spend it. And so in that way, the stimulus and the mortgage default issue are closely linked to each other.
Lawmakers also want to use up to $100 billion from the TARP fund to create a program modeled on the FDIC's approach to foreclosures. FDIC Chair Sheila Bair designed the plan, which offers loan guarantees to lenders who streamline modifications. That involves lowering payments through a combination of cutting interest rates, extending the life of the loan, or writing down the principal amount. Changes to the bankruptcy code so judges can modify loans are also under consideration. Shank supports that and another idea he calls rescue funds.
For the family who may have been out of work for a brief period of time, is back to work, but they've got a couple months where they're delinquent, we want a little bit of money to help them get caught up. It doesn't take billions to do that.
Even with new leadership, the number of people falling behind on their mortgage payments is expected to increase due to rising unemployment and falling home prices. A successful foreclosure prevention plan would help stop the slide if one could be put in place. Stephanie Du, Nightly Business Report, Washington.